This courtroom is about to explode with tension because today, an 18-year-old on GPS house arrest breaks the rules and ends up speeding through San Antonio streets in his dad's car, all to rescue his twin brother. But was it a selfless act or just another reckless decision? You're about to witness a roller coaster of emotions, a panicked teen, a fed-up judge, and a courtroom packed with confrontation, contradiction, and consequences. This isn't just about a curfew. It's about trust, accountability, and whether one emergency justifies breaking the law. Stick around because by the end, the judge drops a sentence that silences the entire room. Let's dive in.
Report.
Your Honor, I did review the report and I just had a chance to speak with my client about it, and I'll answer questions when it's.
All right, State, have you had a chance to review the report?
I have, Judge.
All right. So, Mr. Hall, we have this violation report, and it appears, from what I've seen, that you've violated your GPS.
The GPS data doesn't lie. And here's the thing. 75 miles per hour on city roads? That's not a small mistake. It's a serious public safety risk. Judges look at GPS violations not just as rule breaking, but as a sign you can't be trusted to stay put. When that trust is broken, consequences escalate fast. And this isn't just about speed limits. It's about boundaries, both literal and legal.
Right. And it shows, I didn't know that it could do this, but it shows that you were driving at 75 miles per hour, then at 72 miles per hour. And these are on roads, not on the freeway. And the last I checked, I don't think in San Antonio there's a 75 mile per hour speed limit. There is a 70 as you get further down the highway, but not on the roads of San Antonio. And then there's the 68 miles per hour, and that's on Blue Wing Road. So I would like to know why this is occurring. So we need to address first, why did he violate the inclusion zone? And second, why is he driving over the speed limit excessively?
And I'll explain you can ask him questions, Your Honor. I talked to my client briefly at 5:07 a.m. or the time that's indicated that he leaves his house. He got a call from his twin brother who was broken down on 410.
Now here's where things get complicated. The defendant's twin brother allegedly broke down at 5 a.m., and Jeremiah rushed to help. But no emergency call, no permission from GPS officers, and no backup plan. Would you risk violating a court order if your family was stranded? Or would you play it by the book and call the authorities? Comment below. What would you have done?
As far as the speeds, I would imagine 281 and 410 have those speeds. I don't know exactly. I read through the addresses. I didn't get the indication that those were tied directly to the spot where they took that speed. It looked like that was a speed that was taking en route to there. I guess I would have to ask the GPS officer how to interpret that. But I think it would be indicative of the proper speed if it was 281, 410, 37.
74 miles per hour?
I think 281 south of 410 is a 75 mile road zone.
This is Chavano Road.
And see, I see that, Your Honor, but I see numbers going around. And I was having a hard time connecting what that meant to where that speed was taken. But I did talk to my client. He understands that even though it was an emergency in his mind and his brother's mind, that he cannot be leaving in GPS.
The defense is trying to humanize the situation, saying it was an emotional decision to help an injured brother. But the judge isn't buying panic as an excuse, especially when the GPS officer got a dismissive, "it's my business" response. That attitude, that's what raises red flags. Not the trip, but the mindset behind it.
I asked him why he had such a flippant response for the GPS officer that called, and that's it. And he said, I was panicking. I left to go pick him up. I knew I shouldn't, but he was panicked. And I said, well, that's the reason we're here. I mean, you've got to explain yourself. You don't have the option to tell somebody it's my business. Don't pay attention. He understands the seriousness of why we're here today. But the explanation does seem to track, Your Honor. Like I said, it's his twin brother who had just recently been, I think a week or two ago, lost a couple of fingers in an accident and I was having a rough go of it. I think if those factors combined hadn't been present, he might have told him to find another way. But he did what he thought was right at the time, which obviously was wrong. Retroactively looking at it.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say? Just 1 second. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. You need to keep your voice up so that I can hear and so that the court reporter can hear. State your name for the record.
Jeremiah Josiah.
All right, what would you like to say?
No, I was wrong, but I felt like it was right because he had nobody else. I couldn't let him down.
All right, you're trailing off and lowering your voice. I didn't hear the end.
I couldn't let him down.
All right, defense, do you have any questions?
Yes, if you were faced with a similar issue, what would you do? If he called you again and was broken down the side of the road, would you go get him? Yes or no? Yes.
The defendant just admitted he'd do it again. That's huge. In a courtroom, that's not just honesty, it's dangerous honesty. Judges need to see growth and accountability. Saying you'd repeat the same violation, that signals defiance, not remorse. And it could seriously impact sentencing.
I really don't.
I can't hear you.
I honestly don't. I was panicking. Honestly don't.
You understand that it's only their business to know where you are and to make sure that you're abiding by the rules that this judge gives you while you're on pretrial.
I did not know that. No, I didn't.
I
do
repeat
not.
it.
I do not know that. No, I do.
All right, so just 1 second. You're going to have to speak up because I know that when you're talking to your friends, you're not mumbling.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to have to keep your voice up so that I can hear you, so that the court reporter can hear you, so that your attorney can hear you, and so that the state can hear you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so don't trail off when you're speaking and lower your voice. Keep it up here so that we can understand what you're saying. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
The judge has indicated her concern with the speeds that are recorded on that. Why were you driving so fast?
I was just trying to help my brother. I had nothing else on my mind.
What was the information you had that you were going, what were you going to go see your brother about? Like what had happened?
Yeah, going out and almost crashed on the guy. So I went to go pick him up.
But do you understand that you driving those type of speeds puts other people in danger?
Yes, sir.
The judge is trying to drive home the gravity of the situation, literally. High speeds in a car you don't own, without insurance coverage, that's a triple threat. Even if the motive was noble, the risk was enormous. Not just for the defendant, but for other drivers, pedestrians, and his own family. It's clear the court sees this as more than just a one-time mistake.
I'll pass the one, Mr.
Any other questions?
No other questions. I just wanted to add that his mother is present, not to come and make excuses for him, but she was aware of the incident with his brother. That was not aware that he left the house to pick him up. I don't know how that works, Your Honor, but that's the information that's given.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you ever been in a court before?
No.
All right. So here's the thing. There are rules that you must follow. If you don't follow the rules, you know what's going to end up happening or could potentially happen to you?
Yeah.
Yes. And you know when we would see you? On whatever date it's set, and you'll be brought over in an orange outfit. Do you want that to happen? All right. You have a curfew. And what that means is you need to be in your house. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Communication is key. All you had to do was call the pretrial services officer before you rushed and left and say, my brother has been in an accident. I'm the only person he has to go pick him up. May I go and pick them up? And then that answer was going to be either yes or no. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When you're on GPS, I know people live by this rule that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. When you're on GPS, you must ask for permission. It's worse if you ask for forgiveness after the fact. You understand? So what is up with these speed limits?
I wasn't even thinking. I was just trying to get my brother as fast as I could.
Yeah. What type of car were you driving? Everybody knows the vehicle that they're driving.
Avalon. Okay. Avalon.
All right. And is that your vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. No, no.
Whose vehicle is that?
My dad.
All right. So is that your father's only vehicle? Now, what would have happened if you would have wrecked that vehicle? Are you on the insurance for that vehicle?
No, ma'am.
So you know what that means if you would have wrecked that vehicle? That means that your father would have had to pay whatever damages because his insurance was not going to cover an 18-year-old driving these speed limits in his vehicle. Do you understand? And you know what that would have meant? That would have meant whatever amount that your injuries or whatever amount of damage that was done, your father would be on the hook to pay for that. Do you understand? State, what are you requesting?
Judge, and if I may I ask him one more question?
Yes.
You did mention in the court that you've never been in a courtroom before, correct?
Yes.
But you had a case out of Travis, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had a robbery case that,
It got dismissed.
but you were on bond for that case when this case occurred, correct?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think it's just a situation where I don't believe that he understands the seriousness of the court's instructions to him, that it's not something where he's just able to decide whether it's appropriate for him to disobey the rules of the court depending on what he thinks is important, and then afterwards tell the people who are supposed to maintain control of his whereabouts that it's not their business. We think that that's concerning just from a matter of someone who we have to trust that he has to follow the rules that you've given him. And for those reasons, I think that it's something that maybe we should consider putting him on. Is he already on full GPS, I assume?
Not on full. No, he's not.
Then I guess at least the state would maybe ask for full GPS until he can establish some track record that he's going to go and stay where he's supposed to go and not show the, the judgment that he showed on this particular situation.
And here's my concern. I know that your father didn't give you permission to use his vehicle. And since your father didn't give you permission to use his vehicle and you're driving erratically, well, that's wrong of him. But I don't think he did. I think you're just telling me that because you think I want to hear it. But here's the problem. You're on bond for an unauthorized use of a vehicle. And now you are out here riding in outrageous speeds in your father's vehicle that you are not covered for on the insurance. That's concerning. So what should I do with you? Do you think it would be fair for me to issue a judge's warrant and we can just hear your case while you're at the jail? Because I know you don't want it, but you've violated the court's rules.
Now we hit the breaking point. The judge is weighing jail time and calling out what she sees as manipulative behavior. And then, boom, the big twist. The defendant was already on bond for an unauthorized use of a vehicle when this happened. That changes everything. It's not just a bad decision anymore. It's a pattern.
And this is serious. I'm sure your attorney would tell you that there could have been an accident. So what do you think I should do with you? Because you made a contract and your contract was you're going to be on GPS and you are not to go to any locations unless it was approved by GPS.
The courtroom just shifted from emotional to cold, hard legal reality. This isn't about whether Jeremiah is a bad kid. It's about whether the system can trust him to follow rules without constant supervision. When you're under bond conditions, you make a deal with the court, and when you break that deal, even for family, there are consequences. And now, the judge has to decide if he's learned anything.
You know what the rules were.
Partially of them.
No, you knew that was the rule because they called you. And if you would have been concerned and would have been following the rules when they called you, you would have said, I didn't know what that's the rule. I'm on my way back home. But you didn't. And what I get is the defendant left his home zone and went joyriding. Now I realize joyriding, that's someone's interpretation. I understand that, but you left your zone. What are you working? So what do you do all day?
I'm on the house.
Doing what?
Dishes, anything I could do.
Mm-hmm. All right, defense.
Your Honor, I believe my client's been on GPS for how long? Is that close to a year?
Yes.
And in that time, he has not had other violations. We understand the seriousness of that violation at current. Our request of the court would be, I believe this admonishment has woken up my client to understanding the seriousness of this. We're asking that you continue him on the current level of supervision, and that he understands now, I believe, that any step off the line will mean that he's going to wait out his trial while in custody. But I believe the previous 12 months or 11 months of following the rules is an indication to the court that he's capable of doing such.
All right. Anything else further from the state?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to place you on full house arrest. And just so you understand what that means you're not to leave your house. If there's a barbecue in the backyard, they need to bring that plate inside the house to you. You understand? You're not to be, if somebody tells you, hey, we're barbecuing, come out and watch the grill while we go do A, B, and C. You can't do that. You're in the house full time. You understand? All right, I'm going to continue with the same conditions of the no contact, and it's full house arrest. Of course, no firearm possessions, and I'll waive.
In the end, the judge puts Jeremiah on full house arrest. That means no backyard, no quick trips, no second chances. One wrong move, and next time, he'll be sitting in court in an orange jumpsuit. This case is a reminder. Even emotional decisions have legal consequences, and a flippant attitude can do more damage than the act itself. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real courtroom moments broken down, hit subscribe so you never miss a session.